All right, and we're back. This is the 5th episode in the series. We finally got the car back in the dyno after all that delay, I know. But for those of you who are just maybe joining, didn't see the other videos in the series, here's just a quick recap. What we were trying to do is do a classic Evo5, kind of an OEM Plus upgrade, and go with the Evo 9 Turbo. So we found a used Evo 9 Turbo at Facebook Marketplace, gave it a basic cleanup, new gaskets, clean up some surface rust, just sort of the basic things you would do to inspect a used turbo. And the whole idea, again, we want to keep it under $500, keep it a very OEM Plus upgrade, so that's why we want the Evo 9 Turbo. And just a size comparison between the two, they're very similar. The compressor side, as you'll see right here, is the main difference. That is much larger on the Evo 9 versus that one on the right there, that's the Evo 5. The hot side is actually the exact same size. There's a slight difference in the wastegate, but generally speaking, it's about the same. And we got that on the car, everything was looking great. Let's head to the dyno. So after doing some of those test pulls, obviously before we get to the dyno, everything seemed good. It was actually running, it was holding pressure when I was driving the street. But I'm giving it away a little bit, that once we got in the dyno, made a power run. What you can't see is something was going wrong. And what that is that the wastegate actuator is getting blown open and we were basically losing pressure. So here's a little graphic. If you don't know, this is a wastegate actuator highlighted in yellow. It allows air to bypass the hot side of the turbo, letting you basically control the boost pressure and the speed of the turbo. This is great to make sure you don't turn your engine to confetti, but if it blows open too soon, you don't have boost. And that's what we were having. So we replaced that with the Turbo Smart 18 PSI wastegate actuator, got it on the car, took it out for some runs, make sure everything was working, and thankfully, that was our problem. So we were able to kind of make sure we made boost, took it out for some test runs at night, and the fun thing was we were also able to test the factory anti-lag system. So the Evo 5s came with an SAS system, supplementary air system, and even though we weren't making full power, the SAS system was doing its job. So that was kind of cool. So then what we needed to do was get back to the dyno. We had the wastegate issue fixed and just had to figure out a scheduling to figure out how to get in there and get it retuned finally to make that 23, 24 pounds that we really know we need to make for this car. So this is the screen that kind of sits in the lobby so you can get an idea on a power pull, watching all the parameters as it pulls through. And this is one of the early pulls, but as you can see, builds up nicely. We're not falling on our face. Horsepower is not falling off a cliff. And we're holding the red line. So we had to do some tweaking and some adjustments, but generally speaking, it wasn't far off. And here's another power pull from the inside. That dash works, shift light. Awesome. Gauge cluster. So how do we do? What do we make? What happened? Wait, first, let's go over the costs. So I said we want it to be under 500. Well, pre-wastegate, we were 405. That wastegate really set us back. We hit 645 on that. The tune itself, pretty much double the cost because we had to go back twice. So anywhere between about 1,000 to 1,500 for an Evo 9 Turbo upgrade, giving you a really kind of OEM Plus feel, not have to worry about reliability. And what did it do? All right, here it is. Okay, tired of bearing the lead enough. The blue, that's going to be the torque, and the red, that's going to be the horsepower. And what's important here is the areas between those two curves. The dashed line is what we were doing prior to the Evo 9 Turbo. So that's a stock Evo 5 and the exact same setup that I have, just downpipe and the speed and engineering induction system. And you can see there healthy gains throughout the entire RPM band, which is nice. You're not looking for something peaky. You just want to have as much air as you can. So the final numbers, 360 wheel, up by 40 horsepower, 325 foot-pounds, up by 50 horsepower. So 12% and 18% gain respectively. For a factory turbo, for OEM levels of power, great power delivery, tons of torque down low, still holding the boost up high, that's a fantastic upgrade for $500. Now, that being said, yeah, realistically with the tune, you're talking 1,000. But ultimately, At the end of the day, if you have an Evo 5 or an Evo 6 and you're looking for like an OEM plus power bump, you don't want to go crazy with, all new manifolds, big turbos, and everything else that comes with that in terms of having to replace pretty much everything. That's stock injectors, stock ECU, just stock engine as well. Just the difference is full exhaust and the speed and engineering induction system. So yeah, I hope that was informative. You guys like the series. Let me know what you think in the comments. Should have made more? Should have made less? What do you think?